Hi, we're back. This is Jen Beatson King and Jules. Jen and Jules and Jules and Jen.
Hello.
And this is our session number 13. Wow, we've come a long way.
Yeah, for sure, 13.
So it's November the 11th today and it's Remembrance Day. So we just want to take a few seconds to remember the people who have fought overseas, and we appreciate them. So we'll just take a few seconds here. Okay, thank you. There's lots of people who came in and said thank you, we appreciate you thinking about us today.
That's nice.
Yeah, so we'll just go on with what we're doing here. All right. First of all, we're going to have homework review from number 12. Okay.
I feel like it's
so the review were from the guides, the guide work. So the guide work was to have connections with the guide with automatic writing.
Yeah.
So just 3 consecutive times writing together, and then the next time you went, it would be writing with your guides, bringing your guides in to write, and then writing, and then waiting, and having a little bit of a gap, and then doing it again, and then doing it a 3rd time. So I just want to ask you what your experience would have been like consecutively writing.
Okay. Well, the consecutive one was actually quite easy. To get back into it, what I just did was I would just come back and read what I previously did, or sometimes it just came to me, and then I started writing it.
Okay.
So that one, it wasn't that bad.
Okay, and what? So still want to keep with the consecutive one. So what did you feel you got out of that?
I think what it's teaching me to focus. For sure, because like I said, when I talk to spirit, I can be doing anything, sweeping, mopping, going to the washroom, and I don't even realize I'm doing it. So when I actually have to sit down and do these activities, it really does force me to focus. Okay. And I notice that's like a big thing for me, because I actually am a really hyper person, and so it takes a lot for me to just get quiet. And so what these activities are forcing me to do is to focus, to get quiet, and also to just build a rapport with my guides. You know?
Yeah.
And I do get some good advice. So sometimes I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
So with the consecutive writing there, the advice that you got, what do you think it was? Like, do you think it was relevant to you or relevant to other people? How's you feeling about that?
Well, how Spirit and I usually communicate is that, like a normal person, if I'm mulling over my day in a situation that maybe got under my skin or upset me. So it kind of started with that, where I woke up and I was thinking about something. And as I was thinking about something, I kind of felt Spirit come through and then talk to me like regarding that. So it was I would say 100% of the time it's usually for me, and it's usually to kind of help me with whatever it is I'm struggling with in the moment, to give me like a different perspective, or to just help me like see the forest for the trees.
Do you feel that doing this with a consecutive writing gave you some tools to help you?
I did, like the tools for focusing, the tools for just building a rapport. Like, you have to understand, before when I was talking to Spirit, I never knew who I was talking to or anything. Like, it was just, that was great advice, thanks. And, someone would say, who are you talking to? And no idea. So at least when I'm doing this, it forces me to kind of sit and engage with one of my guides, and then to actually have a conversation with them. So no, I love all of these activities.
Okay, so then I'm going to move on to the writing with 3 separate times that you wrote. You sat down and did it 3 separate times. Okay, tell me the 3 separate times you did, and how you felt and how you connected each of those times.
So the first time, it was the same thing. I was looking outside, and I was, bitching to myself in my head about something. And then all of a sudden, my attention was pulled away, and I saw, I usually put food out for the birds every day. And so I was just kind of for a moment I got out of my head and I was focused on these chickadees and just how graceful they are and how cheerful they are and how they fly and just kind of their whole, like, they're just about them. And then Spirit came through and gave me a message based kind of on kind of the chickadees and just what had happened. And basically, like, that's why I feel like they're with me all the time, and they must be in my thoughts, because when I think something, they'll answer, and then it led me into that. So anyways, it led me into my first little discussion with Spirit. They gave me some great advice, and then I actually didn't go back into it until quite a few days later. Like, I think the first one was November 3rd. The second time I went into it was November 7th. So it was quite a few days later, and I just, at first I thought, oh, how am I going to do this? You know, how am I going to, like, go back in and reconnect? And so I sat down and I looked at the bird, like, I read what I'd gotten the first time.
Yeah, building on it.
Yeah, and then I just sat there and it just kind of happened. Yeah. It was like I felt the urge to just start writing, and then as I started writing, I realized that it was the same theme, but it's a theme I'm working on, so it's definitely relevant to me. And then the last time I did it was this morning. And then there was just like a quick little message that I felt kind of tied everything up.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Do you want to share the message?
Yeah, sure. It was live and let live freely.
Aww, very
so
nice.
I think a theme I'm working on is, obviously I'm working on my thoughts. That's what we all try to work on, because you realize that, you know, if a clean mind is everything, you know, and it's a lot of times it's our thoughts that keep us stuck. And so I'm working a lot on that, and also, you know, trying to, being an empath, not get sucked into other people's emotions or negativity that's not mine.
Right.
And so a lot of what the information that they gave me was kind of giving me little tools that I could, you know, to help myself from doing that.
Yeah.
You're stepping on my...
I'm losing my thing here. Cross my legs and pull the mic off.
Yeah, so that was, so that was really good. So I didn't find that one, I didn't find it any more challenging than the other one. I think this was almost a bit maybe easier, because when you're doing them one consecutive after the other, it's like sometimes I don't know when to cut it off, or, you know, I don't know if I'm, it's just it was a little bit different, but I enjoyed them both.
That's really good. So you have high energy vibration. I was just talking to Jules about this before we started, and the reason that Spirit's telling me that you can go, like, leave it for a few days and go back into it is because you are connected with it. You still have that connection. Your energy vibration is way up here, whereas somebody else's, most people's energy vibration is down here. So you going back into it is just like putting it down for an hour and then going back, or putting the pencil down and then picking it up again. It's very, very easy for you, and you've demonstrated this by what you've done. And you've also taught yourself that, hey, you know what? I can do this. It works.
It's true. Like I was saying, I was talking to Jen earlier and just saying, you know, I think the hardest part is just getting myself really quiet and sitting down to receive Spirit. And, you know, that's, if I need more discipline, it's definitely in that area, because when I actually do sit down, like, sometimes I'll put these little activities off for a couple days. So I'm like, oh, I have to get quiet. I have to get still, you know, and then I'll do it and I'll be like, you know, 15 minutes later, I'm like, I'm done. And I'm like, it's so easy. I should put more effort into this and do it more often, you know. Not that it's so easy, but I think it's just, for me, where I struggle a little bit is coming off my high animated, train, and coming back and sitting quietly. But I need to do it.
It's quite funny. It's you have in your mind that it's homework, and me giving it to Jules, it is homework. However, once you do it, it's like, well, there's no problem, nothing to do it. It's the build up to doing it sometimes is the hard thing, right?
It's true. Like, I do notice sometimes I just like after we meet here, I won't go home and want to do this right away because then I have to be quiet, you know. Whereas when I go home, I want to like put my music on, talk to the birds, you know, do whatever. So, but you know, this has been helping me so much. Like, I really do think these activities that you give are really great because they are showing me where I'm strong as a medium and then areas that I need to kind of hone and focus in on. So, yeah.
Okay, so with this, I want to just go back and say, when you sit down, we were talking about calling the guides, and actually, the guides for me and for you now as well, we don't call them in. We just say, okay, that you're here. So just give me that a little bit of input on how you connect with your guides.
I swear they're like, I feel like they're a part of me or something because I literally think of them and they're right there. Yes. Like I don't have to, it's not like I'll sit there and I'll think that I want to engage with my guide and then I'll have to wait 5, 10 or 15 minutes. Like literally they're there already. Like they were already there before I thought of them. Like they're just, So sometimes I wonder if I made it up because they're there so quickly, but I've been proven wrong because a lot of these activities that I'm doing, I've had accuracy, and so I know that it is really happening. Yeah. So.
When you sit down and you connect with your guides, before you sit down, do you feel your guides? Like you said, they're there already, even sometimes before you even know.
I know what you're saying.
So, yeah, what's that feeling that you get if you know that
I feel
they're
drowsy. Okay. I feel lucid or drowsy or drugged a little bit. Yeah. Like it's kind of like a sedative that falls over me. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah, like I feel a little bit sedated, a little bit drowsy, and that's just the magic coming in, you know?
Yeah, it's their energy calming you. You know, everybody needs to be calmed down. We need to just take the activities of our daily lives and put them aside so Spirit can come in with their information too. When I sit down with Spirit, or even before I sit down with Spirit, they do come in and they start chattering in my ear, and it's always on my right side, and I can feel the vibration, and it gets louder and louder. It's like, hey Jen, we need you to come and sit down because we need to discuss something with you.
So they do that, they'll come and talk in your ear?
They will.
You know what I get from the spirit world? All I can think of is kind of Moses holding a staff.
Yeah.
They actually, I'll hear someone standing there and they'll bang a stick. But it's like somewhere in my head that they're doing this. So it's like a deep vibration that comes to me.
Do you hear it on your right side or your left side, the vibration?
I don't know. But I remember it used to happen a lot of times, and when I wasn't willing to open up to spirit, and I would hear them banging the stick.
Yeah.
And I would always be like, oh, what does that mean? Why is that happening? And I would always picture Moses, like with that big staff. Because it's like, you know, in a movie, if they were to hit the rock and then it ricochets all through and you really hear it. Yeah, it's very deep like that. But that's usually when they really want to get my attention.
Yeah, yeah.
So
they will give you a way, and they'll stick to that way as well.
That's good.
So you learn to know that way. Even when they start chattering in my ear and I sit down, I don't really have to sit down. I just have to listen to what they're saying. Sometimes I'm too busy. Sometimes I'm just, you know, flying out the door and I'm going, yes, I acknowledge you. Thanks very much. Let's chat later. And then boom, it'll stop.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that, again, is going back to what we had originally talked about was boundaries.
Yeah.
So I've given them my boundaries. They can come in any time, but I still have boundaries. If I'm busy or if I don't have that time of day, I acknowledge them, respect them, and then let them go.
Are these your guides or just any spirit?
These are my guides.
Okay, because my guides, I thought your guides were always supposed to be there with you.
They are always with me. Sometimes they want to talk to me.
You don't want to talk.
And I don't want to talk to them.
So you tell them it's not a good time.
Yeah. They're people. They're just people in spirit. You know, you do have reverence and respect and all that stuff for them.
Yeah.
However, you still have a life here that you have to live, regardless, you know.
And it helps a lot. Like I had someone say to me that all those voices that I hear are not my own. And that actually helped me a lot because it kind of freed me.
Yes.
From like thinking that all this stuff that I'm feeling and sensing is what I'm feeling, and then I try to match it, like, why am I feeling this? And it's exhausting. Now I can just say, it's not me. Even if it is me, I'll just say, it's not me. You know, if it's negative and I don't want to deal with it, it's not me. But you know what it is? It's freeing, because it's like, because I'm paying attention to my mind, I realize my mind has many people, and it just always friggin' talking, always talking, telling a story, and it's annoying. And sometimes I just want it to shut up, so I'll tell it to shut up.
Yeah. So that just reminds me of what we went over. Sometimes we do a little bit of a debriefing before we start. You had mentioned that you had another song that came in, and you didn't know who brought it in, what guide brought it in for you. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to go over that and say it's a collective. You don't really need to know, you know, if it's Rodney or Roger or any of your other guides bringing this song to you. What it really is the collective energy of everybody, of all your guides, bringing this to you, and they bring it to you for a life's lesson, for you to learn from it, or for you to hear the words in the song which resonate to you, and that's why collectively they will bring it.
So is it possible then, if let's say I had a loved one like my dad or my grandma or like a friend that passed, if they wanted to send me a message in a song, collectively the spirit world would send me the song, but I would know based on the song who the message is from?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. You can discern it. It's pretty easy to discern one piece of evidence from another piece of evidence and who it came from if you want it. But collectively it comes through with the power of spirit. So you know, yes, okay, this is the song. I'm going to listen to the song. Thank you very much. I understand it. I get the lesson from it. Now I'm going to move on from it. And what's good with your journaling here, you can go back and I love to go back in a year and look to see what I've done, what I've written down, or the connections I've made with people. And it's like, man, did that really happen? Right?
I know, it's true, because when I was rebuilding my book, because this is new, you know, but I definitely would do it different next time. Like the way you have it, I'm not going to divide it up, because now all my work's all over the place, but you learn. So yeah, I think I'm just going to start off on page 1 and then just go through the book. But I tried to make it too fancy.
Dividing it up for you to begin with is really good, because you are putting everything in a little different category or compartment, and that's great, because you can flip back. Oh yeah, that's how I learned that, and that's how I learned that. It's great. Whatever you do, it's never the wrong thing, right? It's just how it flows. All right, we're going to go to. Oh, you told me Grail came back to visit you.
He did, actually.
Grail is my master guide that I asked Grail if he would go and help Jules. Okay.
And so the last thing that I mentioned with Grail was the one that taught me to put the black cape on myself and taught me to stay grounded, because I am broadcasting myself when I'm out of my body.
Right.
Hanging around in the 4th dimension when I should be here. And so, there were a couple times over the last 2 weeks that, you know, I either went in the shower or did something and he reminded me to put my privacy screen up.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Wonderful. All right.
I know. So he still kicks around, you know, which is good, but yeah.
Right. All right. So we're going to go to the homework now.
Okay.
All right. So I want to discuss at the next session your map a little bit more to see if you made your map at the next session. Also, I want you to go back into Debbie's energy, and I want you to go back into Timothy's energy. You said you'd like to do some more exercises on bringing people through. Well, not quite yet, okay? So what we're doing, the exercises that you'll be doing is going back into their energy and bringing more information out from them, because you have that connection with them, and they're very willing to help you and to communicate more. And then we'll talk about you sitting and focusing.
Okay.
Also, well, I think that's enough for now. So we'll get you to do those things.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else that... Okay.
All right. So we're going to go with those exercises when you come back. And we're done for
That was a short one.
number 13.
Thanks so much, guys, for
Yes,
tuning in.
Yeah, thank you in Spirit's love and light, and we'll let all our spirit people that have come to help us tonight go, and we'll let the people that served in the forces go as well, and we really appreciate them doing that and coming and joining us tonight.
For
Okay?
sure.
So,
Thanks so much, and enjoy your day off if you do have a day off today.
blessings to all of you. Bye.
Thanks.